me just say thank you, Enrica, for giving us all the sense of enthusiasm for the activity that we are going to have today. Our partners and delegates to the Philippine APEC Study Network. The Silliman University learners and community partners. The other institutions that are represented here this morning, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. You will know a flash, or rather theme in your program. The theme is Circular Economies in Action, localizing APEC's vision in the Visayas. And we all know that here in the Visayas, we are surrounded by bodies of water. And if we have to talk about our environment and the sustainability of the planet, there is no escaping the fact that our behavior and our tendencies will definitely impact the environment around us. Consider you buying water in a plastic bottle, or buying shampoo and conditioner in sachets, or taking a juice in Tetra Pak, or having items bought in a store or in a mall in a plastic bag. At the end of the day, where do the plastics go? We know they end up somewhere, creating a sea of trash or garbage, not just in Asia and the Pacific, but to plastic waste in the world's oceans. An estimated 35% of plastic marine debris in Southeast Asia is attributed to the Philippines alone, making the country a significant source of plastic pollution in its seas. Consider another scenario: a coconut farm production in our province. We are familiar with the activities in the farm. Coconut meat is extracted, primarily for food preparation, like our favorite halang-halang, and for selling copra. The byproducts, consisting of coconut water, coconut shell, coconut husk, coconut leaves, and stalks, are basically considered of less economic value and simply form part of the farm waste. So what do we have here in the two examples? The reason I brought up these concrete examples is to clearly demonstrate that it is imperative for all of us, people, agencies, governments, to move away from the linear economy to circular economy. In the linear economy, where you have extraction of raw materials or the manufacture of products, then you get to the part where you have non-recyclable waste. For us, in the circular economy, once raw materials are extracted, the way by which those products are manufactured, used, and recycled contribute to less represent play a role in stimulating the academic community to move from the linear economy model to the perspective of a circular economy. What are some of the components in instruction, in research, our community, and even our own faith orientation and spiritual bearing that can be utilized in the conversion of the linear economy approach to one of a circular economy? Quite a broad set of questions, but let me just present two specific examples of some of the initiatives undertaken here at Silliman University. The first example is working towards a zero waste campus. And perhaps one of the early campuses that engaged in a zero waste campaign. And up to this day, I haven't come across a formal declaration of a move towards zero waste in any other campus. Why don't we have more campuses where we have an audience of young people and faculty members and staff get together and work towards zero waste? So what does it mean to be a zero waste campus? At least from the experience of Silliman University. Silliman University declares zero plastic on campus. No bringing in of bottled water. You bring your own jug or your own container. Also, labels, posters, and information campaigns like the use of carpooling is definitely a no-no on this campus. You don't get to see carpooling materials here on campus. And we aim for everyone to know how to segregate recyclable, biodegradable, and residual waste. Biodegradables will be collected frequently and returned to nature via composting, vermicomposting, and biodigestion, and the rich compost and vermicast will be used to enrich our soil, and some would go to the farmers, and we also have members of the community buying those organic fertilizers from our biodegradable waste. So we reduce our residual waste, meaning those that will go to the dump site, down to hopefully just 10% of our total waste. And to give heed to all these desired practices, we got our own board of trustees as early as in November of 2018 to adopt our university environmental principles, policies, and guidelines. So we also adopt purchasing policy that reduce waste and plastic. Get to know who the providers are and whether or not these providers engage in a zero waste advocacy. Definitely, we ban sachets and plastic containers inside campus. And all student activity permits includes zero waste plan and commitments. So when we have our big festivals like the Founders Day celebration, any student group that will set up a fair or any other activity, they have to indicate how they are going to manage their waste. And the Silliman cafeteria has gotten rid of single-use plastics. We don't anymore use plastic straws and uses compostable wrappings. Trash bins are color-coded, and our students are bringing in their own reusable bags and drinking containers. In relation to this, since 2019, Silliman has been the only university and among the few in the country to be powered completely by renewable energy through its power supply contract with First Gen Corporation. And in October of 2023, the university signed a memorandum of agreement with Green4, extending the use of renewable energy on campus and reaffirming our commitment to a green and sustainable campus. We also have the Energy Development Corporation that is led by the Lopez Group and, in a way, deals with geothermal energy. Another partnership was also struck with Silliman to rescue and secure endangered species in Negros Oriental under the flagship environment program BINTIS by establishing an arboretum inside the Silliman Center for Tropical Conservation Studies, or CENTRO, the university's field laboratory grounds in Palimpinon, Valencia, Negros Oriental, to provide a safe haven for long-term survival of the trees. And in that facility, we just don't have the flora, the trees and all the seed development of hardwood species. We also have there the biodiversity program where we have endemic endangered species of spotted deer, the bleeding heart pigeon, the bats, the Philippine crocodile. So if you're interested in those species, those can be seen and you will know more about them up in Palimpinan. So the Silliman EDC Binti Arboretum is really a collection of Philippine threatened tree species to strengthen our niche program on forest biodiversity. And we know that given the situation that we are in and the threats and challenges to the natural environment, we would like to maintain the biodiversity of each habitat so that we will be assured somewhat of the sustainability of those species and organisms. But I must admit that more needs to be done, and the work that we face must be done in a systematic fashion. So, at Silliman University aims to transform, so too must the individual lifestyles of those who are Silliman and those with whom we interact. The second example I'd like to give is re-envisioning cocoa farm developments. As you know, we have our own college of agriculture. And as you go around, our primary crop production is in coconut and rice. We don't have the sugar cane as much compared to the other provinces. So we take care of the produce and the products in our immediate vicinity. Like all other models, circular economy works at various levels, from the personal and household level, to the community and wider industry settings. So the impact and the intended outcome, of course, can be significantly felt with the cooperation and collaboration among peoples and institutions. No matter how strong your own organization can be in advocacy, if no support system is in place, all those aims of letting them know will just die down because of no concrete infrastructure to all our advocacy. So currently, there is a proposal in the pipeline for our coconut development projects at Silliman University, especially in Sigaw, Masbate property. And these projects include the shared processing facility for the establishment of a cocoa beet, cocoa choir, and juvenile processing center, as well as devoting 10 hectares for the coconut seed farm development. So it's from the seedling to the harvesting and making sure that we are not just going to get the cocoa leaves or the source of copra, but to make use of the coconut water. Do you notice how expensive coconut water is in Tetra Packs? Or how expensive it is to get your dust rags made of cocoa coir, or the cocoa beads, and all those other byproducts of the coconut. So if we are able to assist our farmers and members of the community, then we can expect a cyclical business economy, so that farmers will be, in a way, induced and be enthusiastic in adopting circular economy. For the shared processing facility, Silliman University cannot just do it on its own, as that is several miles away from here and feet away from here, that's in Masbate. So we make sure that we are in cooperation with the local government of Monreal. And having the facility within the property offers advantages such as easier access to sell the coconut husks and potential road development with the DPWH, which may arise due to the facility's presence. And regarding the seed farm, it will be operated by the Philippine Coconut Authority, another example or illustration of working together in collaboration with agencies that are tasked to do the work anyway. So by working closely with them, we will also be able to help more of our partners in the community. Also, we have a private foundation, Save Coconut Foundation Incorporated, and many of the members have been scholars, cocoa-fed scholars, we call of the College of Agriculture. And they have pledged to return service by being involved in this foundation. And this foundation has been commissioned by the Philippine Coconut Authority to support the development of coconut industry in the Philippines, and will help oversee and manage these projects from conception, from ideation to full operation. Thus, what we saw of linear versus circular economy whether we like it or not, we need to think of the principle of sustainability. APEC's circular economy agenda promotes the transition from the traditional linear economic model to a circular one, where the emphasis is on reducing waste, reusing materials, and regenerating natural systems. And this is very much relevant to the Visayas region, where natural resources abound. And as was mentioned earlier, we have resources in fisheries, in tourism, in agriculture. Do you know that every year, an estimated 11.2 billion tons of solid waste are collected worldwide? And the Philippines was estimated to generate 18.05 million tons in 2020, and is expected to reach 23.6 million tons in 2025. So with time, the plastic waste that we see, let's look at the Manica River and all those waste and garbage near the shore. In due time, plastic waste releases toxic substances which contain and leach hazardous chemicals, including endocrine disruptive chemicals that can cause cancer, diabetes, reproductive disorders, and neurological impairments of developing fetuses and children. So what the fish will eat, the microplastics, will also be ingested by us who eat fish. And if we're not going to do something about this practice, then we will likely be subjected to this kind of health impairment. The environment crisis we face today is very much a product of how we have developed as a society. The overconsumption of resources, waste management issues, and the challenges climate change poses make the circular economy a critical framework for ensuring sustainable growth. So we need to work hand in hand as private, government, and academic sectors in coming up with a framework that translates into actionable plans for the Visayas region. Circularity also entails closing material loops by redesigning manufacturing processes, materials, products, and systems to eliminate waste at all stages. A circular economy uses clean production methods and clean energy to make consumable products that can safely return to the biosphere, and durable products that are intended for multiple reuse and remanufacturing. So, with the two examples of the circular economy promise and the Silliman University Environmental Initiative, I must also emphasize that people's participation and collaboration have helped us in several other initiatives on campus, like those related to freshwater bodies and ocean. We have done river monitoring. Silliman, through Dr. Alcala, has pioneered the construction of artificial reefs. Dr. Alcala also popularized the 25% solution in an island, where he says, in an island like Ako, if 25% of the shore and the near shore, both towards the sea, will be protected. That would help the 75% of the other parts of the sea. So just say 25%, so that we can continue to help the total 75%. Or I'd welcome you to know the reclamation and glad to see our friends of the environment from Negros Oriental. We are not always successful, but that is not a cause for us to just hold our arms and do nothing and say nothing about these developments. We are also for the protection of marine sanctuary. I just wrote the urging and enthusiasm of our community partners to the Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources about this activity of setting up a jetty port in Aho Island, which can cause destruction in the marine sanctuary, and also affect the livelihood participation of the community members because of the coming in of other business people into the community. So in a way, the locals are deprived of the small scale tourism economy with the bringing in of tourists in jetty loads. And then the income goes to the operator of the businesses. For the marine biodiversity projects, which we continue to do, and our irrigation and canal sanitation as areas for the university to continue its work on. And as to land-based initiatives, I mentioned about our captive breeding project, like our spotted deer, the warming pigs, or the bleeding heart region, and to endemic fauna species. Others would be the bass around us. We're familiar with bass, where bass actually help us in the fruiting, for example, as they move from one tree to another. They actually help us in the natural cycle in our own fauna. So endemic plants and tree species for the new generation of our forest require seedling and farm nursery so that we have available materials to regenerate our bases. And as to air, monitoring air pollution, planting trees to offset carbon emissions, and the like. Again, do you know that managers our own breathing process all through our lifetime? We need to be responsible in planting at least 40 trees. So as of today, you're 20 years old, how many trees have you planted? So that you can recover and help the earth regain its carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. So, for the concluding statement, we know that this is easier said than done. And indeed, there are challenges to implementation. Transitioning to a circular economy requires a shift in economic or consumer behavior, a shift in corporate business strategy, and a shift in regulatory frameworks. Circular practices must be integrated into every level of production, from design to end of life management, requiring collaboration across industries and sectors. Also, governments need to implement supportive policies, such as this is now being discussed, on the extended producer responsibility or EPR, and providing incentives for sustainable practices. Like, who pays for pollution? Should it be the consumer, or should the responsibility be on the producer? And so that is being looked into in more detail. There may be some policy framework that can be arrived at to ensure that there will be minimization of waste. So we need to adopt new ways of thinking and doing, especially with the advent of innovation and technology. So we heard of technologies like blockchain and Internet of Things that can improve traceability in supply chain, making it easier to recycle and reuse materials. When you have a non-functioning technological device, where does that device go? Or if you have a non-functioning refrigerator, where does that refrigerator go? Like, how are we dealing with our waste? And now with the advent of technology, how are we prepared to deal with e-waste? So innovation in biodegradable materials, modular design, and repairability are key enablers of the circular economy. Rather than you buy something, it falls down, you throw it away. But if we have repair services, who can really help us with making our items and devices or appliances work for a long period of time, then we contribute to the minimization of waste and the problems that we get to planet Earth. So sustainable systems need to be powered by renewable energy sources to truly support long-term environmental goals. We then must heed the call to action. As members of a government, business, and civil society, we must work together to build circular systems, or encourage policies that promote recycling, reduce waste, and incentivize sustainable products and services. Would that qualify the Magenta City, the place for all that we like to say, as a big part in this circular system, where we don't necessarily waste all of those clothes coming from other countries, we use them or we use them and process and be able to feel good with those items. So every person then has a role to play by making sustainable choices in our daily life. So what's in it for us? So the circular economy empowers us, consumers, to make sustainable choices, such as renting or buying second-hand products, or sustainable products that are durable and repairable and provide longer-lasting benefits for communities, ensuring that resources are distributed more fairly. Also, reducing pollution and promoting sustainable practices can lead to healthier environments, improving overall public health. Notice that in all of those items that I shared with you, those items depend so much on individual choices and the practices that we engage in. So I'd like to circle back to a university community. If we are faculty members, how do we put our principles, our texts into use by encouraging our students to be engaged in circular economy? If we are in research, how are we using our research publication into contributing toward circular economy? And how do we, in our community engagement, practice advocacy so that we will be able to bring in more doers than simply talkers? And finally, the transition to a circular economy is not just a necessity for sustainability, but an opportunity for innovation, economic resilience, and a healthier planet. And by embracing circularity, we can create a future that thrives within our home, our own planet that now already has ecological limits. Let's think about all those and see what we can do to make our Earth a better place to live in. Thank you.